with another live stream, and this time we're gonna recap Week 10, and we're gonna figure out what do we learn about all of these teams. We're gonna go to the standings. So before we get to everything, let's just recap the early window slated games. We're gonna start in Germany. It's gonna start in Berlin and London, where the Indianapolis Colts moved to 8-2 over the Atlanta Falcons. Now this is the story, mainly because of none other than the best running back in the league, Jonathan Taylor. As you can see on, well, I ain't gonna point to the screen, but yeah, he had 32 carries for 244 yards, including one early 6-yard touchdown run, the big 83-yard touchdown run, very in the middle of the fourth quarter. And then, of course, the late touchdown, the late window slated touchdown in overtime from a 10-yard run as he juked Jesse Bates in order for them to happen. Early on, Daniel Jones had a touchdown pass to Alec Pierce. Yeah, it was a couple turnovers that he had caused because of the pressure that the Falcons' young pass rush got after the O-line for the Colts, which that was the main thing. That was the biggest surprise and the biggest shock. Number one is that you would expect the Indianapolis Colts to really figure out their struggles as far as pass protection. They've been one of the best O-lines in the league, if not for many people's eyes, the best O-line in the league. You know, a lot of people wasn't expecting them to be at the starting point of 8-2. You know, and even I wasn't expecting them to be as good as they are now. Being in that town, I was not expecting them to be as good as they are and on point. Another thing I would say is a big deal. The Atlanta Falcons are showing really who they really are as a team. They're not nowhere near the kind of record that the team, as far as their expectations to be in the NFC South, as my early window predictions did in my video some time ago, and where they supposed to be at. I just think that they've completely regressed. Michael Penix is okay, but he's not really evolved to anything special. He's not really moving the needle for me, and I see him kind of like really going into another lack of direction and a lack of purpose. And I really feel like they don't run the ball enough with Bijan Robinson. He only has 17 carries for 84 yards. That's not nearly enough carries for him. He should be getting at least 26 to 28 touches, because that's just the kind of back that he is. And I would think that he would get that because of the way that the Falcons' passing attack, as he only had 177 yards. He missed on 16 attempts. Oh, Marcus McNamara, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? But yeah, I feel as if that goes without saying about the early window slate for them. I'm just recapping the NFL games yesterday, Marcus. And starting with the game in Germany. But yeah, getting back to, like I was saying, I think they need to hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson if you're the Falcons moving forward, and taking without a slight detour. Yeah, just go and read the when you leave the chat room, you can read the title. It'll say right there. And also doing the Grammy nominations predictions later on after this. But next topic. But yeah, getting back to what I was saying, yeah, I definitely think the Falcons should feature more Bijan Robinson. They need some outside help, some speed. They need another receiver to go along with Drake London and Kyle Pitts, because they can't be doing it enough. They can't do it enough. They don't have the kind of capable receivers on that roster, to me, that can really take the top and spell it off the defense. They don't pass protect all that great, and their run defense is atrocious. Their game plan to try to slow down Daniel Jones, but they really didn't do anything as far as really taking away. They took away their most lethal option in the passing attack, and then they end up letting Jonathan Taylor get so loose in the game, and he was able to find holes and pick through holes. You know, pick through holes, be patient with the O-line, able to see the run gaps, able to get juke, able to do a cut and juke move, make you miss, and take it all the way to the house. That just goes to show you that. And Tyler Warren also should be in the running, also for rookie of the year and offensive player of the year. He should be in one of those categories, probably offensive rookie of the year. He's been a dynamic help a dynamic piece and a help to Daniel Jones. I love that about what he's done to help that offense out, and they line him and use him in different ways. So that was a great win for the Colts to get back on track. You know, able to sustain drives when they needed them to, and able to move the ball on first and second down. Their third down possessions were terrible. They only was only like 1 for 11, and that's a big problem. And they're gonna have to get that worked out and work together. They picked up third down. It was 2 for 12 on third downs. Yeah, that was terrible. They're gonna have to work on that, because they can't keep going for it on fourth down. They picked up 25 first down, but that was pretty good. And they held the ball for damn near 40 minutes and 20 seconds. So they had a really good time possession and a really good game. So really excited about what they're gonna do moving forward. But they got to get better on third down. All right, so I'm not gonna talk about too many of these window slated games. I didn't get a good chance to see every single one of them. But the Patriots and the Buccaneers, I did see this game. So the Patriots also moved to 8-2. They're one of the top 2 seeds in the AFC conference, and they won 28-23 over the Buccaneers over Tampa Bay. Both teams were slated with injuries. The Patriots without Ramondre Stevenson, Kayshon Boutte, he was not there. And so Travion Henderson got the bulk load of carries. He had 147 yards, 14 carries, and 2 touchdowns. And Mac Hollins had 106 receptions. He was featured. Stephon Diggs was a monster out there, was an absolute beast. You got to be accountable for him. For Tampa Bay, they have a lot of problems as far as their defense goes. They have got to get a hold on limiting attempts for Baker Mayfield. He's throwing the ball way too much. 43 times, that's way too much. They got to get Sean Tucker going, Bucky Everett when he comes back, and Rachaad White. Get your running game going to get Baker Mayfield into some better play action. And they need to get some receivers back. They need help in the receiving game, and they need help in pass protection in the offensive line because he's been getting hit a lot. He got hit a lot in the backfield yesterday, so that was a big thing that I saw. But for the Patriots, they're proving to be one of the top 2 teams in the AFC conference. So I like the way that they're heading. I like their direction. They play good complementary style football on both ends and good in special teams. Yeah, that's pretty much how I see it from them. All right, so we got the Ravens and the Minnesota Vikings. The Ravens on a 3-game winning streak. They won 27-19 over the Vikings. Lamar Jackson didn't have a very big day as far as his passing yards, but he was efficient enough. He was 17-29. He had 176 yards and a touchdown. Derrick Henry didn't have an efficient day, but their defense held the Vikings and the other teams like the Rams, the Bears. Yeah, the Rams, Bears, and the Vikings. And also, they also had another big-time win over the Miami Dolphins. Well, they held them like a total of combined of 38 points in the entire 4 games. It's really, really good. And that goes to show you that this Ravens team is for real, man. They really did try to make a point to try to get themselves back in the race for the AFC North Division Conference. So I really am proud of them for what they've done. As far as the Minnesota Vikings go, they still got a long ways to go. A lot of the young quarterbacks, including Jake McCarthy, have this problem. They completely don't know how to really set their feet. They shovel their feet. They panic. And they get a little bit too antsy in the pocket and want to try to get the ball out so fast, but they're not reading and going through their progressions, and I see that a lot yesterday. Oh, Kathleen Javel. Hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm doing all right. How's it going with you, Kathleen? But yeah, I'm just talking about the NFL, doing recaps of Week 10 and Week 11, heading into Week 11, and I'm gonna do the Grammy predictions. It's all right, but yeah, Oh, okay. Oh, okay, cool, cool. That's nice. But yeah, no. As far as getting back to the my recap of the NFL Ravens and Vikings, yeah, the Vikings are in a tough spot, tough slate. They Nate Wiggins was really holding down on Justin Jefferson yesterday. He really did his thing. I'm definitely proud of the Ravens defense as they have stringed together some really good points of holding teams down as far as the scoring margin, the scoring load. So that really is impressive for me. Also, I really am happy that Lamar Jackson is going to be proving a lot of doubters wrong, and I think they're going to be going on this hot streak. I can see it. I can see them coming back and taking the division, and especially with the game I'll talk about later on with the Steelers and the Chargers. But yeah, really good win for the Ravens, and I love to see what they're going to do moving forward. All right, now the story pretty much of the day was how in the world the Buffalo Bills lost to the Miami Dolphins. This was just the biggest disappointment I've ever seen. So the Dolphins won and blew out the Bills 30-13, and everybody will look at Josh Allen's stats and say, "Oh yeah, he didn't have that bad of a game." And James Cook, you didn't feature him enough at all. 13 carries for 53 yards. That's not gonna cut it. That's not gonna get it done. And the concerns for the Buffalo Bills to me, because that's the story. Miami Dolphins, they're pretty much heading their way all the way to Barbados and Cancun. They're pretty much on their way to the Bermuda. Like they're done. They're done for the whole year. The story is the Buffalo Bills and how a lot of people have overrated them this whole entire season. Josh Allen been getting a lot of overpraise. And then also, their run defense is atrocious. I mean, Devon Achane damn near almost had 200 yards. He had 22 carries, 174 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Man, that cannot happen. That is just pathetic run defense if you're the Bills. And then, although you had 2 turnovers on Tua, that wasn't enough. You had to slow the run game down. And the fact that they couldn't do that and they had so many problems holding the fort down on them, it's a big problem. And that's gonna be a thing that's gonna hurt them the most, in my opinion. So if I'm the Bills, I need to go sign a edge rusher. I need to go sign a run stuffer, a run stopper, like in the off, in because the trade deadline is passed. I would go out and go get somebody in free agency, go get an edge rusher, or go get a nose tackle, nose guard to really slow the run game down, to really help you with the run in the run defense. And then they really need to get guys back on the defensive side of the ball because they was also injured with Christian Bedford, and I believe the safety Taron Johnson was also out in this game. That was also the thing that hurts them. So yeah, that'd be the main thing I would say is the biggest factor that was a big problem for them. But we'll see moving forward how the things is gonna go. But to me, I think they need to get some guys back. So yeah, that would be the main thing I would worry about if I'm the Bills. Now, the game that people are gonna talk about immensely is the Jaguars and the Houston Texans, where the Jacksonville Jaguars completely choked a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter, where the Texans scored 26 points in the fourth quarter and won 36-29. Um, we're gonna talk about things later on and why I believe about the Jags in a minute. Start with the Texans. Davis Mills did his absolute best as a backup quarterback, replacing what C.J. Stroud was done. Got the ball to Nico Collins, 7 receptions, 136 yards. He had a big day. Jaquavius Marks, filling in for Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon, who I don't even know if they're going to be coming back. But he did a sufficient, he did enough of the job. The Texans had 400 some yards of total offense, and they averaged 6 yards per play, which was just incredible. They were very efficient on third down, which kept them on the field and sustained drives. And they held the ball 2 minutes more than the Jags. So that was the main difference, was the third down efficiency, the first downs, the less allowed, sacks allowed, and then of course more plays and more time possession. Now, let's get to the biggest problem with the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll get to Trevor Lawrence in a minute. We'll get to them in a minute, the offensive side. But let's start with this atrocious defense. This defense has been atrocious these past 4 games. I've seen them in. It is insane how bad their defense has been playing. To give up 26 points in the fourth quarter, and then in a game against the Vegas Raiders, which I didn't even talk about in the week 9 recap, for y'all to give up that many points, it's just insane to me, dog. It's absolutely insane. I cannot recommend you guys invest if you're the Jaguars. I cannot recommend for them to invest in getting a secondary and also getting Travis Hunter back. I cannot recommend anything about getting a complete pass rush. Get Trayvon Walker back. Their defense entirely changes differently when he's not in the lineup. So they need to get guys coming back. They need to go sign some better tacklers and get some edge rushers. Get a pass rush because their defense is atrocious, man. Their defense is absolutely atrocious. Matter of fact, I might just say get a new defensive coordinator too, because that would be the main thing that can help them a lot. But yeah, their defense is absolutely atrocious in every sense of the word. Oh, Ardell Brizimovic, appreciate that. All right, so yeah, definitely that would be my thing. But shout out to the Houston Texans. Oh yeah, and also Trevor Lawrence did not do enough, and I don't think he's playing like the $50 million guaranteed quarterback he should be playing like, in my opinion. I think that's a thing where it's where he needs to get his stuff together. So that would be my thing is a problem. Now, getting to pretty much the most anticipated game of the day of the stream is Lily Rose. Hey, Layla Rosie. Hey, how's it going? But yeah, getting to the most important of the games of the day, the NFC West, in the battle between the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. All right, so the LA Rams won 42-26 over the San Francisco 49ers. And the reason why the LA Rams to me are a team that is a team that to beat is because number one in the NFC right now is number one. They have the most to gain as far as they have the most to gain in the NFC right now as they have a I ain't gonna say they really have a lot of speed on the receiving core, but they have well balanced offense where Matt Stafford is very much not a complimentary piece of a quarterback. He's pretty much leading the team, should be in a candidate running for MVP, and also, in my opinion, the LA Rams defense is very underrated. You got Jared Verse, who coming from Georgia, he's one of the best pass rushers in the league. Nate Landman, he's been doing his thing. Uh, Kobe Durant on that secondary. And I also think Brian Young, another pass rusher that they got, he's really getting it going. Like, I really like this Rams team as a whole. They're really putting it together and all killing on all cylinders. And despite the fact that they've outgained the 49ers in total yards, rush yards, they outgained them a little bit on yards per play. They had more first down. They're very efficient on third down and had more time possession. The Rams were able to maintain the ball and maintain time possession to really keep themselves afloat, and I really like the way that they're playing. So it gives them a chance to me to compete as being one of the best teams in the NFC, along with the Philadelphia Eagles and of course their nemesis, their competitive foes, the Seattle Seahawks. And this will pretty much show who is the best team in the NFC next week as they face each other on the road, I believe. So this can be a thing where, this can be a thing where we're gonna see who is the best team overall that really puts it on point. And as far as the San Francisco 49ers is concerned, like the Buccaneers, are decimated with injuries. We'll see where things go for them moving forward. I just think they just need to get Brock Purdy back, get other guys back fully healthy and capable of make a push for the playoffs. Because I don't think they can be able to. I don't think they're gonna be able to get in top of where the division is going. Because I think we'll see. I think we'll see next week between the Rams and the Seahawks who is the best team in the league. So I can't really judge. And all right, the last game is the Steelers and the Chargers. The LA Chargers beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 25-10. The story was the Chargers defense held the Steelers to their lowest points and their lowest total yards, which is 221. Held Aaron Rodgers in check to only 148 passing yards. They only had 73 rush yards, and they held the Steelers to only 2 for 11 on third down. The Chargers defense was getting after it. They was getting after Aaron Rodgers at like over 6 sacks yesterday. So they were really, really solid. I like the way they played. Justin Herbert actually played pretty decent yesterday, so that was a good sign. They actually had some good sign for their running game. Kamani Vital, he had 95 yards on 25 carries. So I really like the way the Chargers played last night, despite it not being as efficient or as sufficiently because they're on their fourth string running back because their main running backs have been out for a good chunk of the season. So I think the Chargers are a good team, but I think that they overstayed their welcome in the AFC West. I don't think they're gonna win it. I think the Chiefs gonna possibly make a run and come back and win it. That's just my opinion. But yeah, those are my thoughts on last night's game between them. And when I come back, I will do the Grammy prediction. So I'll be right back. Huh? Oh. Oh, I thought somebody was in. Whew. All right, guys, I am back, and so I'm gonna be talking about the Grammys nominees and predictions, and going through not every category, but the main big categories like record of the year, song of the year, album of the year, best pop vocal album, best R&B album, and rap album of the year, and those things like that. Jazz, if I get to it. So yeah, I'll be talking about these particular categories, not every single one. And for 2026, so leading the way, of course, with people was talking about right now, being Kendrick Lamar and Lady Gaga's in there, and then of course Sabrina Carpenter got some nominations. All right, so let's start with record of the year. So, if you don't know the difference between record of the year and song of the year, the record of the year is compilating of just the producing and the artist and the producer, the recording engineer and mixer and mastering. So this is what it means by record of the year. So DTMF by Bad Bunny, Man Child by Sabrina Carpenter, Anxiety by Doechii, Wildflower by Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga with Abracadabra, Kendrick Lamar with Luther, and of course the Subway song with Chaperone, and APTV with Rose and Bruno Mars. Now, I believe personally, a few of these should not be in this category. Like, first off, Man Child by Sabrina Carter, what even their best song? Don't know why that's even here. And I've never even heard of APT with Rose and Bruno Mars. I have never heard of that song, so I don't even know why that's even in here. That's not even a song I would even put in this category, number one. And I didn't even think it was that popular. Doechii with Anxiety, I know why, because it was massive on TikTok. It had massive people doing a lot of dances, impersonations, and craze of it, and it makes more the sense of why it's there because it garnered a buzz and a wave. And songwriting standpoint, it is pretty solid. But if I had to choose between one, or at least three that I really think could possibly take it, one of these, I would choose between Luther with Kendrick and SZA or the Subway with Chaperone. Either one of those two will probably get in there. I don't think Lady Gaga's Abracadabra record was enough for me to say it was a good song. I like the whole album, but I don't think that song in particular is my favorite. I would actually chose Garden of Eden or Disease, but I get the popularity for it, so I wouldn't really put that in there. But it's between, to me, Luther with Kendrick, Chaperone with the Subway, and I probably would say Wildflower with Billie Eilish would be there, but I think they're gonna probably give it to Luther. Now, would be out of the way, out of the left field, if Bad Bunny decide to get that one. That would be completely out of the left field, but I think the Latino community really appreciates what he's done over there. But that's just not my style and my taste, so that's why I would never even came over into really coming around to him as an artist. But he's not my cup of tea. All right, so album of the year. Now this is the big talk. Debi Tariar Mas Fotos by Bad Bunny, Swag by Justin Bieber. Why is that even in this category? I don't understand that. Man's Best Friend by Security Carpenter. Why? Anyways, Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clips and Malice. Pusha T. Mayhem by Lady Gaga. GNX by Kendrick Lamar. Leon Thomas with Mutt. And Tyler the Creator with Cornucopia. Now, I really, besides 2 albums on here, and I haven't even heard the Bad Bunny records. I can't even. Besides 2 albums on here, I really much love this entire category. Like I love all these albums in so many different ways. Like for Mayhem, for Let God Sort 'Em Out, GNX. I love all these albums in totally different ways. I think they're probably gonna give this one to Kendrick for GNX. Now I would not be surprised if I would be actually kind of surprised if they give it to Clips or Chromacopia, but I think they're gonna probably give it to either Kendrick with GNX or Leon Thomas with Mutt. I think those 2 records have been the most played albums in rotation on the radio, on the hip hop stations, on the R&B side, and on TLC. They've been playing these records a lot, so I would give it to either one of those 2. I would not be mad at either one of them, or if not, they have a code. But I would give it to GNX because I think that's probably the best one, in my opinion. Now, honestly, I don't understand what the hell is going on with the Grammys. Why did you even add Justin Bieber here? Who in the world is playing that? And I don't even hear anybody playing this Sabrina Carpenter out. I think her last project to me, Short and Sweet, was better than this. I think her last project was better than this, in my opinion. I was not the hugest fan of this record. Even though when I did a review and a reaction on the album, I didn't really have this same feeling, the gut feeling about the record. I was kind of a little bit hesitant on it. It was like a few records on there I like, but other than that, it's not an album I would go to. It just didn't have a lasting power. So I would give it to GNX, in my opinion. But I would not be surprised if they give it to Leon Thomas. Song of the year, you got Abracadabra, you got Anxiety, APT, DTMF with Bad Bunny, and APT with Rose and Bruno Mars. Anxiety with Doechii and Lady Gaga with Abracadabra. Luther, Man Child, and Wildflower. I think they're probably going to give this one to Anxiety for Song of the Year. That's just my opinion. I personally think it should go to Luther, but I think they might give it to Doechii's Anxiety because it was massive everywhere on TikTok. Best New Artist, Olivia Dean, Cat's Eye, the Marias, Addison Rae, Somber, Leon Thomas. I don't even know how he's not a new artist. Alex Warren and Lola Young. I'm giving it to Olivia Dean. I think she's the best person out of this category as far as considered a new artist. So I'm going to give it to her. Producer of the Year. I don't really know that. Producer of the Year, Dan Auerbach, Circuit, Dijon, Blake Mills, and Soundwave. I think they're going to probably give this one to probably Dan Auerbach or Soundwave, but I think Dan Auerbach probably will take that one. All right, you got the Best Pop Solo Performance. Daisies by Justin Bieber, Man Child by Sabrina Carpenter, Disease by Lady Gaga, The Subway by Chaperone, and Messy by Lola Young. Now, this is the part I think they're going to give to Lady Gaga with Disease. Now, this is the best pop solo performance and single of the year. I'll give it to her for that. Best pop and group duo performance. You got Defying Gravity. You got Gabriella. You got APT by Rose and Bruno Mars at 30 for 30. I don't really know much about this one. I'll just go 30 for 30 with that one. Best pop vocal album, you got Swag, you got Man's Best Friend, you got Something Beautiful by Miley Cyrus, you got Mayhem, and then you got I Tried Everything But Therapy by Teddy Swims. This is probably one of the widest lists I've seen. I'm going to give it to Miley Cyrus for Something Beautiful. That's actually my favorite record and the most I've played of all of these ones here. You know, including the Lady Gaga record, Mayhem. I just played this album, Walk of Fame, and like yeah, Walk of Fame, probably probably Golden are probably my favorite songs off of this record. Um, yeah, that's just how I feel about that. Not skipping that, not going to that. That's pop dance recording. Not gonna go down that. Best dance electronic album. Okay, the best metal performance you got is Night Terror by Dream Theater. You got Ghost with Lacrima. And then you got Sleep Token with Emergence, Soft Spine by Spirit Box, and Birds by Turnstile. I'm giving this one a Sleep Token with Emergence. I think that should, and I think it is going to win in that category. All right, the best rock album you got is Deftones with Private Music, I Quit by Haim, From Zero by Linkin Park. What in the world is this album even doing on here? Turnstile by Never Enough and Young Blood with Idols. What is that even doing on here? I'm gonna give this one to Deftones with Private Music. I really dug this record, and it definitely feels like the best rock album in this list in this category. Uh, Okay, the best alternative music performance you got Everything is Peaceful by Bon Iver, Alone by The Cure, Seeing Stars by Turnstile, um, Main Top by Wet Leg, and Parachute by Haley Williams. I'm going with The Cure for Alone. I think that's the best alternative performance I've heard all year. That record is very calming, very, just it gives you that really somber, really chill, laid back energy, but at the same time has its own way of being upbeat. So I like that record. Let's go to this. You got best alternative music album. You got Sable Fable by Bon Iver, Songs of the Lost World by The Cure, Don't Tap the Glass, Tyler the Creator, Moisturizer by Wet Leg, and Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party by Haley Williams. I'm giving this one to Songs of the World by The Cure. All right, so let's get to. Okay, we're getting the R&B categories now. If I'm seeing, I'm skipping anything. Best R&B performance: "You Can" by Justin Bieber, "It Depends" by Chris Brown and Bryson Tiller, "Folded" by Kehlani, "Mutt" by Leon Thomas from the NPR's Tiny Desk, and "Heart of a Woman" by Summer Walker. Giving that to "Folded" by Kehlani. That is probably my favorite record of this category, other than Mutt. And I do like that from the NPR's Tiny Desk, but I'm gonna go with "Folded" by Kehlani. Like I really play that record a lot. Um, he got best R&B song, "Folded," "Heart of a Woman," "It Depends," "Overqualified." Yes, it is. I'm going with "Folded" in this category. I think that's one of Kehlani's best songs she's done. Best progressive R&B album. You have "Bloom" by Duran Bernard. Talked about that record on the channel. You got "Adjust Brightness" by Bilal. I haven't heard that one. "Love on Digital" by Destin Conrad. "Flow's All Access" by Flo. And "Come As You Are" by Terrence Martin and Kenyon Dixon. That's another album I talked about on the channel. So I'm going with "Come As You Are" by Terrence Martin and Kenyon Dixon. It has the best progressive fusion of R&B and hip hop and influence in there. The also the feeling of just the laid back style and production, and Kenyon's vocals were really imaginable on here. Best R&B album, you got "Beloved" by Giveon, "Why Not More" by Coco Jones, "The Crime" by Ledisi, "Escape Room" by Tiana Taylor, and "Mutt" by Leon Thomas. That's going to Leon Thomas with "Mutt." You have best rap performance. Here we go, the rap categories. You have "Outside" by Cardi B, "Chains and Whips" by Clips, Pusha T, and Malice, "Anxiety" by Doechii, "TV Off" by Kendrick Lamar, and "Darling I" by Tyler the Creator and Tizo Touchdown. I'm giving that one to "Chains and Whips" by Clips, Pusha T, and Kendrick Lamar. And Pharrell, that is my most played song of this category and probably of the year. "Darling I" will probably come third. "TV Off" will probably come second. But yeah, I'm giving that to "Chains and Whips." And I talked about that record on here as well. Best melodic rap performance. Yeah, "Proud of Me" with Friday and Meek Mill. Okay, I'm surprised that's even on here. I like that record. "Wholeheartedly" by Jid and what in the world? Okay. Luther with Kendrick and SZA. We Mage by Terrence Martin and Kenyon Dixon with Rhapsody, and Somebody Loves Me. What in the world is this song doing on there too? Like, yeah, they got some pretty weak songs in this category. I'm gonna probably go with "Proud of Me" by Friday and Meek Mill, with Luther kind of running up in there. But yeah, I like that record. "Proud of Me." I think Meek Mill and Friday complimented each other very well on there. The best rap song, you got Anxiety, The Birds Don't Sing, Sticky, TGIF, and TV Off. I'm going with I'm gonna probably go with TV Off on that one. But The Birds Don't Sing kind of following up. It's like a close second. The rap album, you got Let God Sort 'Em Out. It's the category that I wanted to talk about the most. So Let God Sort 'Em Out. Glorious by Glorilla. God Does Like Ugly by Jid. Kendrick Lamar with GNX and Tyler Creator with Comacopia. Now, this is a solid list because I do like all five of these albums, but would these be my choices for the best rap album of the year category? No. I would have took out Jiz's album. I would have probably put Benny the Butcher or maybe a West Side Gun project or something on there. That's just my opinion. Hell, if I'm being honest with you, like anything Vince Staples, even if he didn't drop an album this year, I would have put that in this category. Like, I just think that those albums were really, to me, better than this. And if I'm going off of this year, like Freddie Gibbs with Alfredo 2 was dope. I played that more than the Jid record and even Glorious. But I'll probably give this one to Clips. I think Clips deserves this. They pretty much are reserves, have a big resurgence and really define a lot of what, the old school hip hop was really about. Caring about the lyrics, caring about the rhymes, really listening to the lyrics. They really defined that this year with this album. So I'm going to give that one to Clips. And that is all I got to say about about these awards. Tell me what you guys think about it down in the comment section below. I'm getting on out of here as I'm gonna look in the comments. Oh hey, Ooze Mandem Ballet Bolonder. Hey, how's it going? First grade floor. Hey, how's it going? But yeah, that is my list and my predictions for the Grammys. Hopefully some will come out right. I may do a recap about it. Probably, maybe not so, but I don't know. Depending on how I'm feeling. But yes, thank you all for watching. Been on here quite long enough. All right, peace. Like, share, and subscribe. And keep watching the content.